Scammers are everywhere. And I'm tired of these scammers, so I'm creating this video to give you the red flags to watch out for when reselling on Facebook Marketplace to make sure that you will never get scammed. So before we get into scam techniques that the scammers like to use, let's cover some red flags and trust factors to look out for. A trust factor is a metric that allows you to check if someone is legitimate or not. And the weaker the trust factors, the more likely it is that you're dealing with somebody that's either completely new to a platform or is likely a scammer. So we start with the first trust factor, which is the account age. Now most scammers have relatively new Facebook Marketplace accounts because they tend to get banned quite frequently. They tend to create a lot of new accounts. To check the age of somebody's account, you can simply go in the Marketplace profile and then look at their account age. And usually if somebody has joined just a few months ago, it is a good indicator that that person might be a scammer. But of course, somebody might have just created a new account to use Facebook Marketplace. And that's where you look at the next trust factor, which is friends. Most scammers, they don't have a lot of friends. Not just in real life, but also on Facebook. Because like mentioned before, they usually just create new accounts all the time and then they either have no friends or they just send some friend requests to a bunch of random people. So when you visit their Marketplace profile, you can just check their friends there as well. So how many friends they actually have. Now there's some people that will lock their Facebook Marketplace profile so strangers cannot see how many friends they have. And that by itself is also a red flag. This of course doesn't necessarily mean that they're scammers. It could just be a fresh account or somebody that wants to keep their privacy intact. But it is nonetheless something to be cautious of when you see it. And there's also another trust factor that you should always check, which makes a huge difference if you know it. And this one is a very obvious one. This trust factor is of course the ratings. And ratings tell you so much about the person that you're dealing with. No ratings means that this person does not have a lot of experience on Facebook Marketplace yet. Bad ratings, let's say under 4 stars, tell you that the person that you're dealing with might be not that great. Maybe they're lying on their posts, maybe they are just very hard to deal with, or maybe they are trying to scam people every now and then. And then there's good ratings. If you see somebody that has consistent 4.9 stars over 50 transactions, the likelihood that they're legitimate is very, very high. And the likelihood that they're going to be a scammer is very low at the same time. But, however, if you look at scam accounts, most of them don't have bad ratings or good ratings. They usually have no ratings. This again happens because, like I said before, they tend to get banned frequently. So they keep creating new accounts and thus have no ratings. So now, if you see somebody that has no ratings, that also now doesn't mean that they are a scammer. However, it is a red flag that you should look out for. But if you have the choice between the 3 ratings to deal with, I would always go for somebody with good ratings. Because you just know that they will probably give you the item that they have described, and they will be good to deal with and not try to scam you. So always try to go for the people with good ratings if you can. Now let's quickly recap the trust factors that really should always be looked at before a transaction. The first one is the account age. The second one is the amount of friends, or if the profile is locked as well. And the third one is the ratings. Remember those 3 or 4 actually, and check them every single time. Especially when a deal seems like it's too good and all of them are red flags, then you should probably not do the deal. Now that we know the red flags to look out for, let's talk about scam tactics that those scammers use to scam other people. First, we will cover the seller scams and then we'll cover the buyer scams. Both of them have a lot of things in common, but are still distinctively different. So let's start with a very common scam here in Australia. It's a PayID scam. And the way the scam works is very, very simple. In the PayID scam, somebody will message you and act very, very interested in your product. They don't negotiate at all. They're willing to pay the same price or even pay more than the same price, and they want to get it now. But they often say that they personally are not able to pick it up, but their friend or their niece or their nephew, they will pick it up for them. But they are such good people, such good cemeterians. Cemeterians? I have the feeling I mispronounced that they will send you the money straight up. So they ask you for your bank details, but not for your bank account number, but usually for your PayID. Why PayID? So let me explain what PayID is. PayID in Australia is a way to pay somebody through their email address or through their phone number. Now, they don't actually want to pay you. All they want to try is to get your contact details. Now, why the hell do they want your contact details? Well, it's quite simple. They will use your phone number or your email address to send you phishing emails. And in these messages, they will try a bunch of different things to get you to give them money. They could be impersonating your bank, government officials, the police, maybe somebody else. There's a lot of creative ways of how they go about it. But in the end, they just use your contact details to try and get money from you. That's the idea. Don't ever give anybody on Facebook Marketplace just like that your contact details. Don't do it. It's not worth the risk. And especially once you give them the contact details for some reason and you get some weird messages to pay some outstanding fees, don't pay it. Never. Very dangerous to do. This scam is pretty easy to see through. But there's a similar scam that might not be that easy to see. And this is the one scam that I like to call the Postage paid scam. The Postage paid scam goes pretty similar as the PayID scam. You have again a very interested person messaging you, wanting to buy the item straight away and are willing to pay straight away as well. However, this scam is slightly different. Instead of having a nephew or niece pick up the item for them, they will instead say, hey, I'm living in a different state, different country, whatever. However, can you send me that item per post? And if you say yes, they say like, great, I already paid the postage. Here's the link to get the postage label. Very simple. But if you click on the link, usually those are malicious links that are designed to get you details in one way or another. Basically, if somebody sends you an odd link, just don't click it. Okay, pretty simple. But now let's say you are actually a buyer. What kind of scams are there to look out for if you're buying items? Well, the most common scam is the deposit scam. That one is very, very simple. Let's say you go on Facebook Marketplace and you suddenly see a PlayStation 5 and it's only $100. Somebody's trying to get rid of it. Amazing, you think to yourself. So you message the buyer. You're very eager, you say, hey, I want to buy it straight away. What's your address? And come pick it up now. And that person tells you then, oh, thanks for messaging. I have a lot of other interest. How about you give me a deposit straight away to lock in the purchase? And you, of course, are a little bit sus about it. Like, oh no, I don't want to do it. I'd rather go and pick it up in person. However, they will then send you their address straight away and say, come pick it up, but send me a deposit. Now, this is a scam. And hopefully you won't send a deposit. But this happened to me before as well. And this is what happens when you actually go through with it. If you drive to the address, you will then knock on a door and some random person will open the door. That person didn't even know about the PlayStation 5. What the person that tries to sell the PlayStation 5 for cheap is doing is just trying to collect a lot of deposits from a lot of people. It is a pretty bad kind of thing. Especially because the people living in the house don't even know about it. And they're just confused because a bunch of strangers come to the house wanting to buy a PlayStation 5. So what I would recommend is to never pay a deposit on a deal that just seems too good. So if you see a PlayStation 5 for only $50, don't think that you will get a PlayStation 5 for $50. It probably won't be happening. You might get lucky, but honestly, the likelihood that it is a scam is so high that I would rather think and not try to buy it. Let's just summarize what to look out for so you will never get scammed on Facebook Marketplace again. So the steps to protect yourself are very, very simple. First, you always check the trust factors when you deal with somebody. So account age, number of friends, is the profile locked? Do they have any ratings? Then again, if somebody sends you any links to click on, don't send them the links. If somebody wants your contact details straight away, do not send them your contact details. If somebody asks for a deposit up front and it is a deal that's just too good to be true and they're very pushy, they try to get the deposit straight away, don't send them the deposit. And important with deposits, if somebody has really good ratings, if somebody has like 55-star ratings, then the likelihood that you can pay them a deposit is okay. But if somebody has no ratings, low trust factors, don't pay a deposit. And again, be careful of deals that are just too good to be true, because most likely they are. Now, following these tips and tricks really will help you to avoid scams in the future. And if you have been ever scammed before, I would love to know how you got scammed in Facebook Marketplace. So please drop your experience in the comments below. And if you haven't done so already, please make sure to subscribe to the channel for more reselling content. And if you're looking to get a guide on how to start reselling, I made a little PDF that you can download in the link below. It condenses down my experience of selling fridges in Australia and how I reached 10K a month doing that. I hope you enjoyed this video and I will see you in the next one. Thank you very much.